mostly because as a proportion of the total number of cases that get charged to the general population, very few of them end up being ones that the state and the defense can't come to an agreement on a fair resolution, which we call a plea bargain. I would say 99% of all defendants who get charged with a crime are able to reach a reasonable compromise with the state that both sides are willing to accept as a resolution to the case. So even if someone is innocent of a charge, they don't know what will happen at trial. Trial is always an unknown. Juries are really unpredictable. Juries can convict someone just because they don't like the way that they look or the way that they sound. Yeah. They feel like the person is being dishonest about something else, even though the evidence doesn't necessarily prove that they're guilty. And so they convict for all sorts of weird reasons that you can't predict. Cases generally go to trial when the state's offer is unreasonable in some way. Usually that requires some sort of jail sentence to be a condition of the state's offer. So for instance, if someone's charged with a crime and the state says, okay, well, our best offer is X amount of years in prison, and that person's like, well, prison's not an option for me. I would rather gamble with a jury than agree to a prison offer, because who knows, for the same reasons that juries are unpredictable and could send me to jail, they could be unpredictable and find me innocent and I could go free. So oftentimes cases end up going to trial when there's a prison sentence being offered by the state as their last and final plea bargain. Frequently with cases that go to trial, it's because the state's offer is so unreasonable that rolling the dice at trial is almost always going to give you a better result, even in the worst case scenario. So for instance, if let's think of a really bad case, someone's being charged with murder. Well, if the state's offer is life in prison, then what's the point of accepting that offer? Why wouldn't you go to trial? Maybe to avoid the death penalty, but it then becomes a calculus for the defendant. Okay, what are the chances that the jury is going to give me a worse offer than the state? The state's offer is really, really bad. Those chances become smaller and smaller, and so it's more likely that the defendant is going to be willing to roll the dice because they think that they have a better gamble with the jury than accepting their fate with a crappy offer from the state.